Hey guys, welcome back to the part 2 of real-time or live data using Django Rest Framework, Django Channels and VueJs. In the previous video, we have already completed the installation and configuration of the entire project, and we have also completed the DRF side of our project. So in this one, we are going to start by creating first of all the consumers.py in the demo app. So I'll call it consumers.py. So what is the use of this? So the idea is whenever there is any change in the model post, we are going to send a message to whoever those are listening to us. So for that we have to make some imports over here. So I'm going to start by from .models, import the post model, then from .serializer, import the post serializer. Okay, and now we are going to import few things from the Django Channel Rest Framework. So from Django Channel Rest Framework dot generics import generic async API consumer is one. From Django Channel Rest Framework dot mixins import list model mixin. Then again from Django Channel Rest Framework dot observer import model observer, and then from Django Channel Rest Framework import permissions. And now we are going to create a class post consumer. So class post consumer, and this will accept generic async API consumer. And then we are going to specify query set. Sorry about that, query set. I don't really want to do type configuration type over here. So post dot objects dot all. So that is done. Now permission class. So this will be permission dot allow any. I'm going to keep this for now. And then we have to write some code over here. So first of all, whenever there is any model change, so it will be model observer decorator, and I'm going to pass in the model. So post is the model. Whenever this happens, just send a message to the front end. So async def model change. Okay, you can write this anything, this definition to be, just make sure that you have this decorator over there. And this will take in self message, then observer, this will be none, and then cox, that is keyword arguments. So once we have this ready, now let's await and use self dot send JSON, and what we are going to send message. Okay, so what I have done is created a function, async function, that will send a JSON message every time to all the users who are connected whenever there is any model change in the post model. So now this message by default will be sent as just the ID of the object. So in order to send the entire object, we need to serialize it. For that we have to write a method, and that will also take a decorator. So the decorator is model underscore change dot serialize. So where does this model change decorator come from? It is actually the definition name of this send JSON method. Okay, so this is the same thing that we define it over here. And now I'm going to write the definition. So it will be model serializer. Actually model serialize, this will take in self instance and action, and then cox, that is keyword arguments. So once we have this, we are going to return, we can return directly the post serializer data. So I'll pass in the instance is equal to instance and dot data. Now we can keep it at this point itself by sending just the serialized data, or what we can do is we can also send the action along with this. Why is that? Because the model observer sends message every time when there is a change in the this post model. It can be change, can be put, post, delete, anything. So because of that, I want to send action so that in the front end we can check whether the action is just created or not, and then append the data. So for that, I'm going to convert this to first of all dict, and I'll call it as data, because this will be the this will be the keyword name, and this is dict. And then along with this, I'm going to send action. So action will be action dot value. So this is what model serializer will return: dictionary of data, and that data consists of serialized data of that particular instance, and along with that I'm also sending the action value so that we can verify whether the action is created or not. So these two are done. Now when a user comes to our system, we have to first of all make him subscribe to this model change, so that every time anything change happens in this post model, it will be sent to him, correct? So for that, I'm going to write another definition. So this will be a sync def, and I'll call it as connect. So whenever there is a new connection invoked, so this function will be called every time, and I'm going to make him subscribe to this particular model. So that will be await self dot model change dot subscribe. So please make sure this model change is the definition name over here, and subscribe means he is going to subscribe it. And after this, we can do is await super dot connect. So only this much is required from the backend side. Let me summarize this entire thing for y'all. So first of all, whenever any new user connects to our system, he will be subscribed to model change. And what will this model change do is, whenever there is any change in post model, it will send a JSON message to the user. And what kind of JSON message? It will send this serialized format of JSON message. So now that backend is complete, we have to create a router for this, correct? So I'm going to create a file called as routing.py. Why routing.py? If you all remember, in the previous video we had configured in ASCII file that whenever WebSocket connection is done, it will go to demo.routing. So that's why I'm creating a routing.py file. And then it will have a WebSocket underscore URL pattern. So let's go ahead and create that. So this will be re underscore path. We need to import this, correct? We'll do it at last. Let me close this list, and I'm going to do is r then upper cap ws slash $. Then we are going to give this post consumer over here. So it comes from consumers dot post consumer, and then this will be as ASCII. Just like as view, there is as ASCII over here. So we have to import these two. Let's do it. So from Django dot URLs import, it is re path, and then from dot import consumers. Sorry, it is consumers. So this is done. Now how do we utilize this? So for that, we have to create a template, and in template we will have to invoke this. So let's go ahead and create our template. Let me minimize all of these. Inside source, I'm going to create a folder called as templates. Let me just verify the name that I have specified in the settings.py. So it is templates, correct? Inside this, I'm going to create a folder called as demo, and in that I'm going to create a file called as index.html. I'm going to use emit to start with it. Actually, I'm going to fast forward the styling part, so let me quickly do it over here. Alright, so our HTML file is ready. Let me explain what I have done. So first of all, I have declared this HTML template, and then in this I have imported the bootstraps CSS, and first div I have given it as of app, and then I have given all these classes so it can be viewed decently, and given a title, and I have created a table. Okay, in this I have just declared the table body, table head, and table is blank, which we are going to do it right now. And in the script section I have imported jQuery, imported the bootstrap, and also I have imported the Vue. So Vue will be used to put in data over here dynamically, okay, so that we don't have to use core JavaScript over here, because this will be very helpful. The Vue part is very, let me explain to you all. I have declared a new Vue app. I have opened it, actually mounted it on this app element, app. So the ID over here is app, so it is being mounted over there. I have changed the delimiters. This is very important because we are using this will be rendered by Django template, so it will be conflicting with Vue's default delimiters. So that's why I have made use of these. Then in data section I have just created one array that is posts and nothing else. So now we are going to write the main important part, that is WebSocket. So I'll create a variable called as WebSocket, and this will be equal to new WebSocket, and this will take in the URL. So URL is WS and not HTTPS, is to / just like normal URL localhost, and it will be running at our 8000 server, correct? So this is to 8000 server, and then it will be WS that we have declared in the routing.py over here, WS // So the WebSocket connection is invoked or connected. You can see whenever we do this, that is new WebSocket, and give it the URL, it will be connected to a system. That means in the backend side it will call this definition of connect, and it will subscribe to this model change. So now we have to make sure to handle whenever there is a new message sent from the backend server. So we have to handle that. So let's handle that. So ws.onMessage, I'll call this function, and this function will be taking e, and I'm going to do some parsing and all. So all data, so this will be all data because it consists of this e consists of lots of things. Out of that we have to pick whatever we are sending from here, right? So for that it is JSON, we have to parse the e.data. So everything that we send from here in send.json will be in the data variable of e. Now we are going to check whether the action was created or not. So if all data dot action is created, it is create, and whenever this happens, that means, see, that's why I was sending action from here, so that I can check it over here that whether it is created or not. When it is created, I will just push it in this variable, right? So that will be, we are going to make use of this name view app dot $data to access this data, and then dot post. So dot post, and I'm going to push it because it is a list. So all data, and inside this we have data. Now I'm also going to write one more if condition over here. I'll tell you all why. So it will be if all data dot action, and if it is list, we are going to assign whenever there is a list sent from the backend side, we are just going to assign it to this post variable, because list is list and this is also array. So this will be like invoked for the first time. That I'm going to do. So all, actually we can copy this from here, and then we have to do is view app dot $force update. So whenever there is a message from the WebSocket, first of all we parse it, and then we check whether the action is list. If it is a list, then we just assign it to the post, and update it. Otherwise, when it is create, we are just going to push the data. So this will be else if. Now in order to show this post, we have to write the code over here. So I'm going to start by writing the tr, and this will take in v4 because we are using Vue. So post in posts, and in this we are going to have three table data. So td, first one will be a paragraph, this will be post or title, and this will have some class will be fw-normal mb-1. Let me correct the spelling of normal. And then this will be another td, and this will be a span, and inside span I'm going to print the status of the post, so status. Then there will be one more third one, this will be direct td, so this is post dot author. And this span will have class will be badge, then rounded dash pill, and d dash inline. And based on the status of the post, I'm going to color it differently. So this is view class, and this will be taking badge dash success if post dot status is not equal to draft. Or it will take badge dash warning if the post class is post status is draft. Let me change this, and there we go. So our class is also ready. The entire HTML file is ready now. Let's create a renderer function for this one. So we'll go in the views.py and create a def index taking self. Actually it won't be taking self, it will be taking request. So let me remove the self request, and we will just render it. Return renderer. And now you all know why I had imported this renderer over here. So this will take in request and demo/index.html. correct. So let's go ahead and run, and let's see how it works. So python manage.py run server. I'm not sure if I had created the migrations. Actually I think I had created the migrations. So there is some error, so let me go ahead and check it out. It is in consumers.py. So there is one small spelling mistake. This is this decorator is model change dot serializer and not serialize. So if we save and refresh, yes, I haven't applied the migration, so let me apply them. Let's first of all do the migration. So python manage.py make migrations. Yes, python manage.py migrate. Okay, so our migration is applied. Now let's create a super user. So python manage.py create super user. So I'll call it as admin. Give it some password. Yes. Clear, and python manage.py run server. Now let's go to this website. If we inspect, actually we haven't created the URL for this index, so let's go ahead and create that. Okay, we'll go in urls.py and we are going to create this URL patterns. So URL patterns will be plus equal to this will be taking path will be on blank path. I wanted to send it to view. The view will be views.index. I just have to import this. So from django.urls import path. So what I have done is, in this URL patterns which consists of router, I am appending it this path. So on blank path, just call the index function from the views file. Actually, we have to declare this URL patterns on top before the routers.url. So it will be interchanged like this. Let's save it and go back. And if we refresh, yes, correct, we are now getting a list of all the posts, but we don't have anything. So let's go ahead and create one post. So I'll open a incognito window and we'll go to this. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's register the model on the admin side. So from .models import post and then admin.site.register post. Okay, and now let's go back to the incognito window and post. Okay, now we have a post. Let's create one. So I'll give it as title 1. Content will be content, and let's do it, split the window actually, so that I can show you all how it works. And let me refresh this once before that. Yes, let's keep it in draft status and author will be admin. Save and add another. So as soon as I add one post, the message got sent on from the backend to the front end side and it got displayed. Correct. And let's add one more, that is second post. Again some content, and let's keep it in publish first, admin, and save and add another. So as you can see, we are getting list of posts over here, but let's do one thing. Let's refresh this. On refresh we don't get anything, but when we add, only those are added. So what I want to do is, whenever this is loaded for the first time, this page, I want to show the list of all the already added objects over here. So let's do that. First of all, we have to go in the consumers.py, and the mixin that we had imported, this list model mixin, that we have to inherit over here in this class post consumer. So I'll give it as list model mixin, comma, then generic async API. So this will make sure that it has a list action, and that will help us to get it on the front end. So let's go ahead in the now index.html, and over here when the new WebSocket was created. So now over here where the new WebSocket was created, we have to do one more thing. That is, we have to write ws.onOpen. So whenever the connection is opened, we will be calling a function. Function will take in e as usual, and then this will do is, I'll call it as ws.send. It will send a request, kind of request, yes, but WebSocket request. So JSON dot, I'll call it as stringify, and I'm going to say action will be list. And every time when we are sending a request, we have to send a request ID which should be unique. So this will be new, I'll call it as date dot get time. This is time. So what I'm doing over here is, whenever new WebSocket is connected on open, means like whenever new WebSocket is opened, I'm going to send a message to the WebSocket saying that I want action type list, and this is the request ID. So save it. This will send a message, of course, and from the backend server it will send me a message. So that will be handled over here. That's why we have done this checking of whether it is list or of create. So let's save and go back to this, refresh. Something went wrong. Let me check what happened. Okay, so for this we also require serializer class over here. So I'm going to do the serializer class will be equal to post serializer. Now save and refresh. And on load we are getting the list of already inserted data. And now when we add a new data, let's try that. My third post, more content. Alright, so let's keep it in draft, admin, save. As soon as we add the new post, the message gets sent from the backend to the server, and here we have now live data or real-time data from the backend to the front end by making use of Django Channels, Django Rest Framework, VueJs. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more such interesting content. Like this video, share, and see you in the next one. Thank you.